William Blake adored the poet John Milton, and he insisted that Milton loved him back. We know this because Blake wrote in a letter to a friend that Milton loved me in childhood and showed me his face. It's unclear exactly what Blake means here since the two poets never met. Milton, after all, died in 1674, a full 83 years before William Blake was born. Perhaps we can understand Blake's eccentricity. Many of us, after all, wish we had been friends with a writer we love, but Blake could take his love into the realm of the imagination, and that is how we have Blake's work, Milton. He spent the years between 1804 and 1810 both writing and illustrating this fantasy poem in which John Milton returns to Earth to guide William Blake on a spiritual journey. The intensity of Blake's feelings for Milton is apparent in the text of Blake's poems, and we see a similar intensity in Blake's publishing process. By the time Milton was published in 1810, a talented and lucky writer could hope for a degree of mass publication and thus financial success from one's writing, but Blake did not work that way. He illustrated his own works, inventing a printing process he called illuminated printing, which allowed him to print both the text and the images on the same copper plate. And Blake insisted on personally hand-coloring each elaborate book. The result of this incredibly slow process is that we have just 4 known copies of the first edition of Milton, all, by the way, currently in institutions. That's a far cry from a mass publication. Sadly, for lovers of Blake, those 4 copies remain the only ones available for over 70 years. The handful of versions published in the intervening decades were badly bowdlerized as the Victorians were squeamish about Blake's nude drawings. It was not until 1886 that a publisher managed to faithfully reproduce Blake's works. William Muir was that publisher. Muir had been a quarry manager, and through his work with granite, he met Count Gleichen, a nephew of Queen Victoria. This friendship inspired Muir to pursue his own artistic ambitions, and it is through this friendship that Muir landed upon his ambition to produce facsimile editions of Blake's work. The Muir facsimiles are dedicated to Count Gleichen, my kind patron. The Muir facsimile is based on one of Blake's originals, and Muir used a process quite like Blake's own, producing a lithograph which he printed and then hand-colored. Producing the lithographs for each of the 45 plates in Blake's original was no easy feat. For Milton alone, Muir spent 2 years creating the lithographs. And like Blake, Muir printed very few copies. There are just 49 copies of Muir's Milton. Any copy of a Muir Blake is incredibly rare. But this copy is also remarkable for its provenance. It was part of the collection of the great patron of the arts, John Quinn. Quinn was well known in New York, garnering an impressive collection of books, art, and friends, including William Butler Yeats, James Joyce, Ezra Pound, and T.S. Eliot. Quinn is credited with helping get many great works published, including Eliot's The Wasteland and Joyce's Ulysses. Even Quinn's bookplate has a story. It was designed by William Butler Yeats' brother, Jack Yeats, and it was printed at the Koala Press, a legendary press run entirely by women and begun by Yeats' sister, Elizabeth. The story of this copy of Milton is thus one of many great writers, artists, publishers, printers, and collectors. It is the story of John Milton, the story of William Muir, the story of Elizabeth Yeats, Count Gleichen, and of course, William Blake.